You see, I'm the engineer that was responsible for the design and construction of the Peterborough Liftlock, the world's largest hydraulic liftlock anywhere in the world, and it was also the first to use unreinforced concrete pour, my innovation. In fact, over 26,000 cubic yards of unreinforced cement went into that. A world-class piece of engineering, but did I get the proper credit for that? Oh no, no I didn't, because my political enemies were conniving to get me fired from my job and ruin my reputation. The more I think about it, it just gets me so worked.
Now, dear, let's think about some better times, such as how we met and about our wonderful family.
Yes.
Now, when I first met Richard, he was coming to our house to court my sister, Ada. Now, once Addie left for school, then Richard and I became much closer. And would you believe that he sold his sports trophies? He was quite an athlete to buy me an engagement ring.
Those were exciting times in our life, for sure. I think the highlight, though, was in 1884 when I was appointed superintendent of the Trent Canal. Now, some of you may have heard the rumors that I only got the job because my father-in-law was a good conservative and a friend of John A. MacDonnell. That's not true, just rumors. I was a very qualified engineer. I had studied canal design. I had all kinds of great ideas for our new Trent Canal that was being built. In fact, I had studied and read about new innovations in lock design over in Europe, hydraulic lift locks. Nothing on the scale of what we have here. But I convinced the Minister of Railways and Canals to send me over to Europe in 1896 to study canal design. So I went to Belgium and France and England. My first trip overseas, very exciting. And I took all kinds of notes and pictures and information on new lock design, hydraulic lift locks. I brought all that information back with me here to Peterborough and convinced the government that the best way to build our canal was to design hydraulic lift locks to make expeditious transfer of boats on our waterway. We were both very active in the church, Bible class, choir. Our faith was very important to us, but it wasn't all work and no play because, as my dear wife said, I was a great athlete. I enjoyed my sports. I continued to play rugby and curling and hockey and rowing. I loved being out in the water, whether it was for work or for play.
And don't forget our cottage.
Oh, yes.
Yes, in 1901, Richard bought 126 acres on Clear Lake and a rustic cottage. But I think the highlight was 1904 with the opening of the liftlock.
Yes.
Yes, the dignitaries, they sang your praises for this world-class piece of engineering. Unfortunately, it rained on the day of the opening. The grass was slippery and several of the gentlemen slipped. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Yes, it was a bit like a wedding. The work that went into planning this grand opening for the liftlock with all the dignitaries coming from around the world. It was a great day for me and I was proud to hear all the compliments, but my liberal opponents and enemies just couldn't leave me alone. When Laurier got into office, one of the first things he did was to hire an independent consultant to review my work in the liftlock. Would you believe Henry Holgate, a respected supposedly engineer, found fault with my design and supervision of building the liftlock? He said it was poorly done, was going to be very expensive to maintain, and in fact recommended my resignation. I was asked by the minister to submit my resignation, fired without the least little bit of thanks, gratitude, no back pay, no holidays,
dear,
no.
You're getting excited again, but you did get your reputation back in 1914.
That's true. When the Liberals were defeated by the great Prime Minister Robert Borden in 1911, I went to the Minister of Railways and Canals and asked if he would appoint a truly independent engineer to look at that tissue of lies that Mr. Holgate had put out as a critique of my work. Luckily, and quite rightly, I was fully vindicated. He found there wasn't one ground of truth to the remarks that Mr. Holgate made, and I got my reputation back. Unfortunately, I didn't get my job back. And to make matters worse, I got a bill in the mail from the minister saying, here's the charge for getting that independent inquiry done. I had to pay to get justice. Now, where's the fairness in that?
Never mind the get up, never mind the suit.
How can you?
Wasn't that the strangest funeral that you ever saw?
Your funeral. It was one for the books, yes. But, you know, I did take charge that day when things started to go a little wrong. I was not going to let Father Oliver Kelly, get away with his church rules, and not where my friend was concerned.
You know, Wilson, I will always be eternally grateful to you. And I mean eternally.
Always with the jokes, Alex.
For what you said and did that day. Thank you once again.
I remember how it came about. Well, you were a Roman Catholic. And we thought it would be fitting for you to be buried in the new St. Peter's Roman Catholic Cemetery on Monaghan Road.
How did it come about? Tell me how it came about.
Well, what happened? There we were. Part of this funeral cortege in Peterborough.
I heard it was the largest funeral ever in Peterborough. Up to that time.
There we were, marching down George Street, through town. We got down to the cemetery. We even had your casket lifted off the
Down to Monaghan Road there.
Monaghan Road,
Yeah,
yes.
right,
We had 6 strong brother masons carrying the casket towards the gate. And there was a problem. That black robe pulpiteer, Father Oliver Kelly, was standing in front of the gates, blocking our way, physically blocking our way. Well,
And tell them about the grave. Outside the fence.
So anyway, we were standing there with the casket, where Alex is the rest of us, I'm sure. And we asked Father Kelly, so what's the problem? Why are we being blocked? And he responded, and his exact words, oh yes, the colonel did not live up to the expectations of the Catholic Church. Therefore, you couldn't be buried in holy ground. You would have to spend the rest of your eternity outside the fence. Well, that was not going to happen with my good friend. And so I went into a bit of a rage, I confess.
You know, I remember it. I remember you did get angry that day. You confronted Oliver Kelly.
Oh yes.
And I remember what you said. I thought you were going to knock him down with your cane, but you didn't.
No, he was a man of God, and I had always preferred
Of course,
to be a
you
gentleman,
would
so
hit.
I did refrain.
You wouldn't hit him. But anyway, I remember what you said that day to him. You confronted him and you said, a fig for church rules. The man is above such. Drive to the Little Lake Cemetery. We will lay my old friend and comrade in my own plot. I will rest beside him, and we will rest in peace forever. We who have done our best for our town and country. That's the words you said.
Those are the words. No, I forgot exactly what it said.
Wait a minute. There's one wee question here I got to ask you. You were over there at St. Peter's Cemetery in Monaghan Road. They refused me. How did you get someone over here to dig a grave, and it mustn't have been any more than 20, 30, 40 minutes at the most, and they dug a grave here? How did you manage that?
Fast messenger, slow march.